This is the Wacom Bamboo Ink. It's just a pen. Now, there are two generations of this pen. This is the second generation. If you get the first generation, you actually get this other piece here, this little case, and I'll go over that shortly. The primary reason why you would get this pen is that this would technically be the last pen that you need to get. That there won't be another pen that you would need because it can switch between the two major protocols currently that Wacom and Microsoft has worked on together to kind of get like a universal solution. So this is a kind of like a step in between for at this time. So you can switch between a Wacom digitized screen and a Microsoft N-Trig digitized screen. It does come with the battery. Now for some reference, I've had this for a year and 3 months, so I've had plenty of time to work with this pen, kind of know what the problems are and kind of what to watch out for. This does technically have 4,000 levels of pressure sensitivity. The Pro Edition does have tilt, but I'll go over to that in another section why that may not even matter, simply because your screen may not even be able to support that many levels of pressure sensitivity. The other thing is this comes in two variants, the first or two generations, the first and second. If you get the first generation, you actually get a little box of nibs. This is a variety pack. You get hard, medium, and like soft. I already have soft on my pen, so I'm not going to go over that. But basically, this pen currently retails for $50 United States USD, and these nibs currently go, if you buy them from the Wacom site, for $16. Now, I originally paid $22 for these nibs, and you only get 3, and it's a variety pack. So I only wanted to felt the soft nib because I wanted the most friction on my screen as possible. And yeah, I don't care about these other nibs. Now, obviously, I can put them on to make my pen last longer. I don't have to buy another one of these just for the soft because I can use these others, but they're not soft, and you can't buy only soft. You can't buy only medium. You can't buy only hard. You have to buy the variety pack. So again, $16, $17 shipped, almost a third of the price of this pen, and I originally paid $22 for this because this is when their shipping was $10, and this product is $10, the nibs by itself. So just be mindful of that. And a soft nib does go wear fairly quickly. This is actually my second pack here that I have. After I spent $22 and saw how fast my nib was wearing down, I just went to eBay and bought it for $5 shipped to me. I don't know how they were able to get it to me for $5, but I'd rather pay them that money than try to go back to Wacom and pay another $17 just for a single nib that I want out of that variety pack of 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about what this kind of does. So there are two protocols here. This is the Wacom Protocol and then the Microsoft. You just hold these 2 buttons down and it'll blink. There you go. So it switches over to the N-Trig technology stuff, and you can press the button down again and you know it switches again. You don't have to pair this with the screen. You just start instantly interacting with it, and you can use the pen as is. It does come with 2 kind of booklets here. I never used them. They're not very useful. The one issue I've had, though, is because I am using Linux, I have no way to register this pen. You need to use their software to register this pen because there are no serial numbers on here to go to Wacom.com and register the pen to try to get any type of like warranty on this thing. So just keep that in mind. It does work on Linux just fine. I'm using a laptop and it has a digitized screen. That screen works on Linux just fine. So let's go ahead and cut over to the screen, and then I'll talk about the kind of major fallback that I ran into, or at least 2 of them, that made this pen kind of not as great as I was hoping. Okay, so let's get the kind of elephant in the room here. This pen could be a great pen. It could be a pen that you would want to use every single day. It is made out of metal. The buttons feel great. It has a little clip. The nib is not that bad, but still expensive. However, the pen is only as good as your digitized screen. And this is where this pen really starts to kind of just suck, because it's not the pen, it's my screen. So to give you some context, this is an HP Envy X360 from 2018. In that year, they used several variants of digitized screens. This is one of like 5 variants that they made of this that uses the Wacom digitized screen. But this screen's not made from Wacom. It's made from a third-party manufacturer from Taiwan named Eland. And there is no information at all about this. So you have to contact HP and say, hey, it says pen and touch. What pen can I use? They're going to say, oh, go buy the Wacom Bamboo Ink pen. That's all they are going to tell you. There is no other information about this. So the kicker is that this is 4,000 levels of pressure sensitivity, but when I draw on a screen, I'm only going to ever get 256 levels. And it's not like I can go from 0 to 256 at full pressure. No, it is like when I start, I'm already at maybe like 100. And then when I press ever so slightly, I'm already at 256. So there's a lot more range in this pen I can technically get out of, but I can't because of this digitized screen. The other thing is that this digitized screen is so low quality that when I want to actually use even just my finger, so let me just show you this real quick. I'm going to use I'm sorry, I have. So I'm using my finger now, and you can clearly see that there's wobbles with just using my finger. This will be the best input device to try to get something out of this. To drive this home even further, I have a capacitive pen, a powered capacitive pen, so you can see it lights up blue, so it's on. If I were to do that same line, you can literally see all the waves. And I'm not kidding you. This is how it is with this pen. All cheap touch capacitive screens are like this with this type of pen. Unless you're using a nice smartphone that has like high quality digitized screen, this is what you're going to get. So you will see in a lot of the reviews about this pen that when they try to do that same type of arc, so if I try to go here and draw, and here's the thing, I'm using a matte screen protector and a soft nib. I have the most grip I can possibly get. But you'll see again, you get all these little micro wobbles. This screen sucks, and this pen doesn't fix it. It still sucks. So what I'm left with this pen for capabilities is that I can do quick sketches. So I can do like a little guy right here. So I can do a quick sketch. I can write. You are here. And it looks great, right? It's just when you run into the situation where you want to do maybe some nice detail in the eyebrow, and maybe you want some more pen pressure. So understand that if you're going to get this pen, make sure you can return it. Now there are fixes for this in that I can use a stabilizer, but it depends on the software, because in Windows you can't control the pen pressure. You can control the buttons, but not the pen pressure. So if you want to use something like OneNote that does stabilize your pen, you're not going to have any way to control pen pressure or how much it's stabilized. But in this software, Krita, that I'm using, I can do. So if I was to do the same line again, all that pen wobble is now gone. So it's workable. You can still use this even on a really bad digitized screen. The other thing is, if you want to fix pen pressure, you just need to modify the actual pressure curve within the software you're using. So I can go here and put this fairly hard. So now, let me take off stabilization here because it's going to be a pain in the butt to show. But basically, now I can start at a much thinner line and get thicker as I want. Like when you saw me start here, I was already kind of getting like a very, very thick, and now I can do very thin lines as I want, and then go all the way thick. I am having to draw harder, but I have far better range in how my pressure is displayed and started and used and everything else than I would have out of the box as it is configured with this digitized screen. So the end result is, unfortunately, you're not going to know if your screen's going to work well with this pen. There are ways around it, like I said, and I've shown. I want to love this pen, but beyond these two technical things where the screen is just crappy, the last part that's just really important to understand is that if you want a good drawing experience and writing experience, unfortunately you will have to get the soft nib, because drawing on glass really sucks for trying to write stuff down. The other thing is I'm using a matte screen protector, so you can kind of see here. Let me bring this down a little bit more, but you can kind of see here where it stops right here. So I'm using this in conjunction with the soft nib, and I will say that it is a great experience, that it is something that I would love to draw on. It's just that this pen is kind of difficult to work with when I want to do something specific like inking. So with that out of the way, that's the review. Take it as you want. If you want to get the pen, get it, but make sure you can return it, because your monitor may not be up to stuff. Now, as far as the matte screen protector, I'll put a link of what I got. It's like a generic 15.6 matte screen protector, but the matte aspect of it, not a glossy one, the matte aspect of it gives me a lot of grip to work with. So it makes it basically a joy to do any type of drawing I want. It's just the fact that I don't get as much as I would get out of a pen tablet, a dedicated pen tablet, than using the Wacom Bamboo Ink.